recording. Yeah, oh, sorry, not this one. Maya. So now you have this interface, and here like basic few things you should know is left side. These are the main options. This is your select tool. This is your lasso selection. This is your paint selection. This is move, rotate, scale. Like simple. WER same. Like most of the software have same shortcuts. WER for scale, rotate, and this thing. This is like a standard, except Blender. I guess Blender is different. So like with this we can do it. So let's see, and here these are like main how to select, how to move, how to rotate, those things, those options. Then right side box, this is basically your property or utility, you can call it. So you have, if you create anything here, all the related option will pop up. So let's see. You can see this top there is a ribbon. This ribbon is by default polygons. You can see polygon, surface, curve. In new this thing, I guess you don't have surface. You have curves, polygons, deformation, animation, dynamics, per XGen, all those options, and Arnold plus. Older Maya used to use Mental Ray as render. Now they have Arnold. They don't have Mental Ray anymore. So we'll be using 99% time polygons and some of the times curves to create curve modeling, like curve with curves, spline and all, modeling and polygons. This is how it works in Maya. In Maya, you don't have mesh, like edit mesh, edit poly, all those options. By default, it's polygons only. And there is a main difference between polygons and mesh. I guess you know. Polygons are basically two triangles, and mesh also two triangles. But if you convert your model into triangle and export it, it will triangulate entire model. If you have polygons, it will be like combined two triangle and one polygon, right? So that's why whenever you use mesh, it increases your vertex point, and you use polygon, it reduces the vertex point. That's the reason we use poly. No more mesh, right? So this is, and now you have all those options here: primitive shapes, sphere, box, cylinder, cone, like basic primitive shapes. And by default, everything is unwrapped. Like that's like standard to all the software. Click. So in older, this is the older version. I'll ask him to update this so we can like do it really easily. So by default, you can see the moment I click it, my cursor changed, and now I can click and generate this thing. But in new Maya, you just click it, it will generate here automatically in default setting. By default, you can see there is a translate value. It just created, and whenever it's green selection, it means it's selected. Model is selected. If you select switch off, not selected. Like you see, translate value 0 minus something, and translate z also is minus something. If I want to change this 0, it's world coordinate 000 center perfectly automatically. And for this, like whenever you create a sphere in Max, you have this all those options where you can change the number of loops and scale. Same thing, right side you can see under input polysphere. Click this radius, subdivision. Radius I can keep it like 1. This is its actual standard size. So I can change it to like 5. Subdivision axis 2020. I can make it 10. This I can make it 10 or 5. Same thing. Or like based on my requirement, I can click here this option, middle mouse button, drag left, right, increase, decrease. Similarly, increase, decrease. So this comes really handy when you like try to do it something really fast. So this like I don't know, personally I prefer Maya over Max, but it works really smoothly. Like this, you can do a same thing for like box. Let's create a delete this box. You can see. So by default, whenever you create anything in Maya, by default its position is world origin 000 automatically. And if you click this, you can see wherever you create, just make it 0, it will come back to world position. But where is Max? Wherever you create it, that become its origin, right? In Maya, you can just always go back to 0, XYZ. This cross is basically world origin 000, XYZ 000. Select this cube, polycube, again same options, height, width and subdivision. Select all of them, like all three. I can increase, decrease, or suppose I want to change only two, I can do that also. And create normalize UV, it's already there. So by default, UVs are always there. So like this, I can modify any geometry. So like I can add for like loops, add everything and do it, and like manually also I can do it. So this is like how you create basic shapes and all the forms. Cylinder, you can see cap, division, 2, you can do this, height, same like the same option we have in Max also, exact same thing we have in Max also. So you can do it like this and create everything. But there are like few things comes really handy. Like suppose I want to snap this, like, it should be above my ground, like this grid, right? Always whenever you model, it should be above that. Like in Max, it's like you have to do it, check and snap it to the grid and do it. So in Maya, it becomes really handy and easy. Press X, your W, gizmo, W, like gizmo will come, this move tool, spacebar, go to any like front or maybe side, any of this, or like perspective. So I want to like in my Max, what you have to do is like for change the pivot, you have to go to the pivot setting and then change it, right? Here, just press D and V for vertex snap. If you want to move the pivot point simply without snapping, just D from keyboard, left mouse button. So now I can place it wherever I want instantly. But if I want to snap it, D, I want to snap to this position. D and V, vertex snap, done instantly. So it becomes really handy to move your pivot and like change the orientation and make it like really easy to snap wherever you want to. And this is like you snapped your pivot point on this vertex. But what if I want to move it up this grid called origin 000? Then you have to press X, click this, done instantly, perfectly. You can see perfectly snapped. So it's really fast and convenient. Like this, we can snap everything and create everything. And now we have like, now this is by default whenever you have anything selected, model is selected. So like you're doing anything, whenever you like finish editing, right click, go back to object mode, right click, right corner. You can see like this, I can select all the options. These are like all the handy options. I'm not pressing any keyboard, just simply right click. If you don't have anything in your screen, like any object is, if it's not there, all these options will not pop up. So any object, just finish, it's done. Q, just press Q to get rid of this gizmo, done. Or in Max, you right click, right, same thing, Q, select. Now this is ready. But in Max, you have this this is in Max really handy, 1 2 3 4 vertex, edge and all those things. It's really handy, you can press very really quickly. But if you get this hang of this thing, it becomes also in Maya, it's little different. Right click, left move, vertex, it's like soft selection is on, so you can select this quickly. Right click, face mode, right click, UV mode. UV mode is separately, it won't work here, it will work in UV only. Then you have edge mode. So right click up edge, right click left, like without seeing also you can do it like very quickly. So it makes you like everything very fast. Like suppose I want to move something, I'll just double click this. Suppose I want to do like double click, do it like this. Select verify. Like, it's basically how you use it and how handy this software is for you. So it's like a speed up the entire process. It's quite easy, not very difficult. Like basic modeling guys already know. You know how to model it. Same thing, only the tools and options are a bit different. But if you use it, I have seen people, they switch from Max to Maya very easily because it becomes very easy and handy. So makes your life way easier. And Maya unwrap is one of the best unwrap. It's super fast. Like within like half an hour, I can unwrap the entire scene like that. Like with proper like cuts, everything straightened, flattened, properly pleased. And Maya 2020 version, that layout, it have an automatic layout option. It automatic layout works beautifully. Like it's almost layout entire UV like we do it manually, right? So 90%, like or around 70%, it will fix everything and lay out the entire UV, and then you just have to whatever you want to modify, you can just manually modify that section. So it saves a lot of time there. So UV is super fast in Maya. So like this, you can select. Suppose you want to select anything, any loop. Just select one, double click, loop. This is I guess new max is there. I guess I can double click and select it, right? Older version, this wasn't there. You have to click and then go to that selection and click on the loop and select the loop. It's pretty tiring. So like this, I can select this same. Suppose I want to select only half of this section from this area to this area. Select one face, shift another one, double click only that section. And here, if I shift and drag, nothing happens. But in newer version, I'll ask them to update a newer version. Uh, what happens? It extrudes. Same in Max also. Shift and drag extrudes. So older version, this option is not there, but newer version, it's there. So in older version, what you have to do is shift, right click, just drag down. It will give you this. Oh, sorry, iPad. Select this, shift, export, and now you can see you have option thickness, offset, division, and you have this angle. This like you can see there's a scaling option plus a move tool, both combined. So if I click the scale, sorry, move, to move the model, then I can scale. Suppose in this way, like this is blue, right? X Z direction, it won't scale, but red, if I click, it will scale. Green, scale, will taper the model. Now there's no division. Suppose click this division, increase, decrease, division. Offset, to change, like offset the model. This is like it depends. Thickness, you can increase, decrease, define according to your requirement. And this is like really handy. You can do it like all those options. Just click and do it like same thing. I can like select edge, extrude. I can do edge extrude also. Edge. You see, just edge extruded. Okay, extruded, but this is a wrong geometry. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. But there's one more very handy thing is there. Like suppose you have in your model wrong geometry, like this kind. This is called um, non-manifold geometry, right? So this geometry is not acceptable. So how to fix it? Either suppose it's a huge scene and you need to fix this. In that case, it will become very difficult to search for it and fix it. So in Maya, we have a tool, specific tool for this. There's something called cleanup. So click on this. This is a little older. So under this, you can see clean up matching polygons or select polygons wherever you have this issue. Or you can see apply selected object or apply all polygons, like all the geometry. Then either you can clean up means it will autofix, and select means it will select that particular geometry and show you what is the problem. Four face like four sided faces, which is like recommended, like quad. So this is fine. Faces with more than four sides, activate this. Concave face, not required. Face with holes, I can use if my geometry is solid. So in that case, I can switch it on and use it. And there's one more thing is called non-planar face. Like 90% time we don't use it, but this is something while working on character or organic thing, this is recommended. This is required. Like suppose you have something. This is one. Okay. So I just move this thing. So you can see from this corner, there is a bend, but there is no edge or nothing. So there's a bend. So this is basically non-planar face, because this is not a planar. Like if you like use apply a planar, it will distort it. So it's a non-planar face. So for organic stuff, this is not at all recommended or acceptable. So whenever you have this, either like select your model, shift, right click, multi-cut. Like suppose you have this thing Swift loop and cut tool in Max. This is combination of both, this tool. So if you press control, you can apply a loop, or if you just simply like click and drag, enter, cut it. So both the things together. Suppose I want to add a loop, control, add a loop, or if I want to like just simply add something here, like suppose from center, cut. I can do this cut also directly. So both the tools combined, so it becomes really handy to create any model, because like every time go to that slice tool or connect tool and connect it, or like then cut it. It takes a lot of time, and because and cut also sometimes doesn't snap perfectly. You have to manually weld it again. So in this case, you can suppose I want to create something, click and drag. You can see that vertex and showing you that value also 47.57. It basically distance between two vertices. Like I want this into where somewhere like approximate 50%. So I'll do it manually like this, or check. Suppose I have some geometrical shape or some mechanical object I'm creating. In that case, I have specific values. I can use it very easily. I can like snap it. Like if I snap to this corner, it will weld to that vertex, or if I keep it here, it will create a new vertex here. So like this, or maybe enter, done. Like this, we can create things really easily and conveniently. It's pretty simple, not very complicated. Only thing is options. Like options, you need to know how to use it. So it's like basically shift. You press shift and right click. You have merge option. Like suppose I want to merge. Okay, I'll show something like really nice and quickly. Delete. Okay, suppose I want to reduce loops from here. So like usually for this kind of surface, what we do is every alternative loop we take and collapse it. So how to collapse it? Like if you select this and if you click on collapse in Max, it will collapse everything together, right? But in Maya, if you select this, shift, right click, you can see merge collapse top option. Then it is like wherever you see that small dot, that triangle, that means it have like seconds up to like opt menu and all those things. This thing, and you have collapsed edge. It will collapse only that section. Then and now suppose I'll do the exact same thing here also. I have created. So suppose I want to get rid of all these loops directly. So like in Max, you can select like this ring one by one and then collapse it, right? But here, what I can do is I can select this edge, edge, select all these edges, shift, right click. Oh, sorry, no, shift, no, control. Sorry, is this time control left corner. You can see down the corner edge ring utilities, down left corner, right? This one. Then you have to edge ring and collapse. So it will ring the model and collapse it. One click. So if you like, suppose I know this option control, I'll just simply right click and do this. Okay, okay. Instantly. So like really fast, like kind of tick mark. I do it. So no. Even if you know the option, you don't have to see the option. You can without seeing, you can do it. So it becomes really like suppose you are working for like a really long time, 2 3 months something. It becomes really handy. You can do it things like people will stand like, assuming what you are doing, like they cannot see any option, like you're doing something, and things are happening automatically. So it's that fast. Or something I collapsed from here, I guess. Oh, I selected this also. And control, it fixed like this. Like this, I can change everything quickly. But there's one more thing in Max, Maya. Whenever you create anything, right? So you can see it creates a history. This creates always a history. In Max, you don't have this option. There's no history option, but you have to reset XCOM and all those things, you have to do it. But in Maya, you can see all whatever you have applied on that particular model, everything is visible. So this is something we use it only in production when you already have a model, a rig, and you transfer that model to that rig, and then you animate to do something. In that case, history is very important. For gaming, it's not important. For model creating, it's not important. So what I have to do is to get rid of all this thing, and plus this is, you can see, not 0 0. So what I'll do is I'll move it somewhere like randomly. Like what if I want this to be its actual origin point, and plus I don't want this history. So you can see there's a history shortcut is there. I can go to edit, delete by type, delete all by type, history and non-deformer history. So these two are like very important when you working with like is rigging and skinning. History by default, if there's no skin, no animation, no rigging, then you can use history. But if there is a animation you've seen or some rigging is there, you cannot use history. If you use history, it will disconnect your rigging, skinning, your animation. So delete only history, it will remove all the history. So because when you use non-deformer history, it basically retain all the deformation history, all nodes and everything. And if you don't use it, it will delete everything. So history, clean it. But still I can see all those translation values there. So what I'll do for this, go to modify, I have reset transform. Reset transform, if I click it, it will go back to world origin 0 0, reset back to its main position. Right? If I click this, it will go back to this. Undo, modify. There's something called freeze transformation. So if I freeze it, this will become its origin. Click this, everything is 0 0 0. And now if I reset it, sorry, reset, nothing. Only and only pivot will go back to world origin. Rest everything will stay there. So this is like a basic. So this is like basic your primitive shapes. And now suppose in your scene you have control D, 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 D. So I just duplicated multiple times this thing. Control D shortcut for duplicate. So I duplicate this. Oh, one more thing I forgot to explain. Suppose like in Max you have this option, you duplicate something. Okay, that option is not there. I moved it like this, duplicated, and I want to repeat this thing like in equidistance, like 10 or 12 or 5, 4. So in this case, Shift D, just Shift D, Shift D from keyboard. You repeat that last command. Instance also we can do it. Everything we can do. That is called duplicate, special duplicate, I guess. You can see there is something called, where is my duplicate? Okay. Okay, in new there is an option called duplicate. Why it's not there? Okay, anyways, we'll go modify, edit. There is a duplicate special option. If you click this, you have instance copy option. So if you select this, apply, apply, so it will create a instance. So whatever you do here, it will apply. And Maya soft selection works like really beautifully. Like you can create amazing stuff and within no time, really quickly and fast. Okay, this is like you can do, and you can convert this to polygons again, like back to like convert this to like five mesh. You can do it. So you have this thing, but one thing, like suppose you want to combine or separate model. Like in Max, what you do, you select. Like, suppose you have one model, multiple models you want to combine. You click on attach and click, or you attach list. Select all of them. Here, select everything. Done. this option, attach. Everything is attached like this, or select everything, right click, combine. Both works same function. So everything is combined. Now, if I want to separate in Max again, select, detach, select, detach, right? Select the whole thing. Second option, detach. Everything is separate. Then all these things are really fast. In like just one click, you can do it very fast. So similarly, you have mirror also. Like suppose I want to use mirror, so it will create a mirror. This thing applied, but nothing happened here because of test fail. Oh, it's not centered. I'll create a new, and like snapping, like okay, snapping also forgot to explain, right? Snapping, let's create this thing. We have, you can see we have so many magnet means snap, right? So here you can click this, you can see snap to grid option. This is snap to curve, snap to point. You can see project something to center, and plane, snap to plane. Suppose you have a plane and you snap it there, you can do that. Grid is also there, so you can snap. It's already on grid, so you cannot snap it back. DV and snap, and if I switch it on, snap, why it's not over? Snap it quickly and like create this thing. Similarly, now one thing in Max is very handy is modify. You have symmetry and all this option, right? But you don't have symmetry option in Maya. So how do you symmetry? Like, you can do it, definitely you can do it, but how to do it? Like suppose you have this model, switch off your vertex, this thing. So you can see like I just right click, face. I didn't even see it, just did this, select my this thing directly. So it select, delete something, and suppose I want to create a symmetry of this model. So what I do is, whatever your pivot point is, based on that, it will create symmetry. So you have this position, world origin 000, control D to duplicate the model, and this is your X direction. Go to your, you see sphere, all the properties. It's perfectly, but you can see it just flipped the model, so normals are flipped here. So this is, if you connect this thing, combine them, it will fix it automatically. But this still, these two are two individual parts. What if I want to weld this thing? So let's switch on my heads up display. Display, where is my polygon? Oh, here. Polygon switched on. So you can see edge, vertex, UV, everything here. So right now, if we go zoom in, you can select anything. You can see two vertices, right? So I want to weld it together. So I want to like select this, and like if I want, I can merge it like this manually. Like shift, like select any of the vertex, like two vertices, shift, right click, up twice. This is one thing I can do, or select the entire thing, shift, right click, merge vertex, right? Merge. This time not merge to center. I'll click on merge vertices and this setting. This box is basically setting. Like same we have in Max also. Click on this, then I'll threshold, I'll increase or decrease. First I'll try the basic thing, like 0.01, fixed, done, close. Now if I click double click, it's a one single solid geometry. And one more thing, in Max you have smoothing group. Maya you don't have it. It's not there, it's not exist, it doesn't exist, and it have no use in like most of the games. Like especially like if you're doing cars and all like mechanical stuff, and if you don't have a high poly, in that case it works beautifully. But nowadays most of triple titles they have a high poly. For every low poly they have a high poly model. So everything you bake from a high poly to low poly, so everything is generated based on the high poly. So whatever is there in high poly, it will generate all coordinates, shape, volume, everything. So that's why smoothing group is not required anymore, because you are using those maps and generating everything. So here you don't have the option. But like whenever you weld something, you can see this is a hard line. This is basically hard edge. Max, you don't have hard edges, I guess. No? You don't have hard edges. So by default, everything is smooth. Like you apply one smooth to everything, everything becomes smooth. So basically, this acts as a separation of smoothing group. Like both are same, but this edge is separating the shading. So like this, I can separate the shading, or to smooth the entire thing, shift, right click, down, soft edges, done. Similarly, if I select something, shift and hard edges, so it will create that shading. So this is something is like we definitely use it for hard surface models still, and but in games wherever you have a hard edge, you have to split the UV. That's a basic rule of thumb. Wherever you have hard edge, you have to split the UV, cannot keep it together. Otherwise, what will happen whenever you bake, it will create a black line there. So you have to split the UV. That's the basic rule. So you can fix this, smooth and clean everything. Okay, then same we have, I guess we have bridge, same thing, right? So I use bridge. Okay. Now, suppose I bridge this thing and I want to repeat the command. I don't know what to do. I'll press G. Oh, it didn't work. Why? Should work. Wait, what is this? Maybe 0. I created this. Now, second, I'll press only 0. So basically what happened, like previously, I guess by mistake, I selected on bridge tool and change something like increase, decrease. This happened. Enter, done, G. So now you can select this thing, G. Just press G, like repeat last command. Repeat. You can cap it also. Double click, select the entire edge, everything. It should select the entire border. Why it's not selecting? Right? It's something, I guess. Oh, there's something floating. That's why. Create this thing, and let's see. I'll just delete this thing. Now I want to cap it. Double click, entire edge, like with this border. Shift, right click, fill hole. Cap, done. And there's like two new tools are there in new option, new version. It's not there. One is remesh. Another one is remesh, and I forgot. There's two new option. It basically helps you to remesh the entire model. It cleans the entire geometry and give you like evenly spread quads. It like most of the time for hard surface, it works beautifully. Like I'll update it. I'll show that. So this is how you can create cap it, and then you can fix things very easily, whatever you want, however you want. You can do that. Let's see. Like, create fill hole. Okay, there's like one more like very handy thing in Maya. Like suppose I want to create some deformation here. Some I pushed it. but this is the soft selection I'm doing, right? If B is shortcut for soft selection. B, switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. B, switch on. Increase the fall off. B, press B, middle mouse button, drag, fall off. Increase, decrease. This is like works beautifully. We can do it really quickly. So suppose I create something, some spikes, some nonsense geometry. Okay. So I created this, some random something I created, but I want to evenly distribute my polygons. In that case, what I'll do is I'll double click, select this, shift, right click, edit edge flow, G, repeat. It will based on the nearby polygons and vertices, it will average out this thing. You see, went back to original shape. Just select this entire loop, G. So average out the entire thing. So it makes things very easy. Like whenever you want to spread your UVs, like polygons, like evenly, that time it works like really fast. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, let's say basic extrude and cut and all those things. And we can cap it. We can do this thing. Okay, there's one more thing. Like few things are there. I can show. Suppose I have this part. I guess we have it in this version? I'm not sure. Mm, It's not there, I guess. It's not there. Okay. So I'll explain with that only. Huh. So after creating this, like you can see basic options, extrude. Like suppose you want to extrude something, click on this option, extrude. Like same thing. You have shortcuts also. Plus you can, if you want to do, you can do it like this also. Like whatever you want to create, you can do it really fast and modify things. Okay, like suppose now after this, like suppose you have all this cut and all these options, same thing, merge vertex, create triangle, split it, same thing. Now you have the last 4 5 options are you. The first one is your planner, second is your cylindrical sphere, and this is automatic. Then this is your UV template. Click this, it open your UV. By default, sphere is open like this. You can do it really quickly. So, like suppose I have this thing and I want to unwrap it. I click on automatic, splits everything. Now, split is flat, like flatten mapping in Max. Exact same thing I did. Now, in Max, like one thing, whenever I want to stitch the entire loop or something, I have to select each and every edge and weld it. In Max, just double click, select the whatever you want to stitch, select everything, shift, right click, move and so at once. Layout, I can do it, smooth it, unfold, but it won't work because it's all combined everything together, right? So Q like this, I can do it really fast. Let's see. Select this edge, shift, right click, cut it. Don't worry, I'm just explaining the basic thing. So like just to understand, make you comfortable, then we'll definitely use it in that case. But here you can see cannot really can't see any seam. It's not visible. So click this, it will show you all seam. Now double click. Again stitch together something smooth, unfold. I can see this. Where is my cut? Cut it. to shell, separate, UV, unfold. And Maya relax doesn't work. It's useless. I don't know why. You can say it's useless. And Max relax is very nice. Very it works beautifully. The same thing, like instead of relax, we use unfold. You can use this and create like whatever I want to create. You can lay out it directly. Will fit everything within this. Cut, layout, separated like this. Shell, smooth, relax, 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 relax. You can relax everything really nicely and easily. And this surface should be separate. Cut and one more cut. Shell, layout according to like scale. All this thing will fix automatically. So this is, so we'll do it later. So don't have to worry about those things. So in then this time then we'll do create the model in this thing Maya. We'll bring here the model like we have this reference. I see it somewhere right here. Okay, this one. So what I'll do is import my file, like open my this thing in Photoshop, create a symmetrical version of this thing, left right same, crop this one. Suppose I'm going to use this one. I have a separate left view, or I can just use this. So I have this one. So let's start with this. So here I can see it's not perfectly straight. So what I'll do is legs and everything looks fine. Only this torso, this area looks slightly tilted right side, right? So what I'll do is what this, I'll just select this, Control J, duplicate this, then go to, I can use puppet trap, slightly move it inside just to make it like perfectly half. Control J, T, kind of this. Make it half 50-50, save it as maybe JPEG or something. One. Similarly, create a side pose and Maya, we have this option, reset everything, don't save, image plane. It's already there. I can import an image directly. Number one, I would say image plane. You see, no matter what I do, it doesn't move. And perspective, yes. So I can keep it here, and if I want, I can create a camera and freeze it, or I can just simply get rid of this thing. So, or like usually we do it on. Oh, its angle is wrong, right? All wrong. So why for showing my image plane? Delete. So I'll go to front and use it as my image plane. Select this, go to move it, place it wherever you want to place. Perspective, you can see is your angle. So now I can create this thing, start blocking out from this pose and go to perspective and check everything like volume wise. I have a side view, top view. I can check all the angles directly here and create it. And it's like become kind of handy and easy. Can do it really fast. So that what I'll do, I'll import this thing from my ZBrush, whatever we created yesterday. I'll import that thing, and then we will start building this entire block. I'll create one more plane left side so that I can. What I'll do is side right. So I'll import it here. You can see it's exact perfectly center. Place it here. So I'll have this cross. So I'll half a view. I can do it very easy. That becomes makes my life way easier. Like I can do it really quickly. So we'll do that. So from tomorrow we'll start full fledgedly. Start and open if you don't have Maya. So install it. And if you need like a student license, I have it. I can give it to you. So you can install this thing and then like use it. Huh? Let's start with this. Just give me an update attendance. Why is it didn't join?